Colleagues, thank you, sponsors. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think my speech, this song goes out to all of y'all who are listening at home, maybe watching from all the corners of the state. And before I get there, I was compelled to speak particularly for the community that might be watching and listening. But we've heard a few things before, but it was really important for me to share again on behalf of my community and those who identify as the same as I do as Black women, to talk about how real it is to need to be able to access health care, reproductive health care. And you may have heard a few things from my colleague earlier about this in the previous bill, but something is very real about the conditions to which Black women have been labeled. So on the one hand, we're often talked about the number of abortions that we may have. No one talks about how hard it is for us to get access to health care, particularly contraception. We are not an oversexed community. White women have more access to contraception, and so until I see those numbers to compare that, it'd be an unfair assumption to talk about what our community does. And then on the other side of that, we are, if you will, darned, if you will, or darned if we don't, in the sense that because we cannot be in a place to similarly family plan, because we're in a place where we make 60 cents on the dollars and we need support, we're then consequently called welfare queens as well. And so, the root of this, again, is not only the lack of access, but then the over-identification, over-naming, the disproportionality, and therefore the criminalization, because again, the challenges that we have and equitably to be able to earn, I can only imagine what it would mean to be threatened if you lost a job or needed a lawyer to defend yourself. And so the fact that I'm a part of a state that recognizes those root causes and that people even from states next door to us can come makes me incredibly proud. I'll also say that there is something very real about compelling someone to have a child when we have not formally acknowledged that that too may be a death sentence at a disproportionately high rate for Black women. In America, we have a 15% mortality rate. So if there's a room of 10 Black women, one, maybe two of them might die because they'd be compelled to have a child given some of our health conditions. And so part of this is connected to the thing that I really wanted to say for those that are listening at home, particularly around the gender-affirming care too and the role of government. You know, I took a leadership class once and someone said our laws are primarily what community is willing to tolerate, not necessarily if they love it. But, you know, when we make something a law, that means we're putting the full weight of the government behind it. And we've all actually talked about that in here and how that kind of scares us, regardless of its, you know, I don't want to go out of bounds, Madam Speaker, but your guns or whatnot. But the thought of putting the full weight of government behind something, it is a very scary thing. And so I just want to say, for what it's worth, we've been here as a nation before. When it comes to mandating identities, when it comes to what people can and cannot access in their personhood, in the Black community, we could not actually get married, we couldn't keep our own kids. Then we couldn't marry someone because of their skin color. And so I want to just mark the journey that our country has had in being able to talk about what it means in your personhood and your identities and what it feels like to have the weight of government behind denying you that. And just as we have American history over a couple of centuries, part of our history has shown us our fights for that and what people are willing to sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears to be recognized. So I can't imagine what it's felt like for the people in this room who are fighting for their lives and their children's lives. I can't imagine what it's like, quite honestly, for people in all four corners of this state who may have heard that the people who represent them don't believe in their identities. And what it feels like to know that the government might put the weight behind that. And so it means something that when you note, and honestly we talk about this in jurisprudence, if there's a difference in opinion, criminalizing one side is a very heavy weight, because we are not criminalizing people who choose to have their babies. We're not criminalizing physicians who choose to give prenatal care. And that, on top of the anxiety in and of itself of even wondering if you're pregnant, is an overwhelming weight that the government can put on your shoulders. But for what it's worth, family, for those of you who are listening at home, we are willing to continue to fight, whether it is blood, sweat, or tears. Unfortunately, that is an American legacy. We are at a place where we can reflect deeply, and that is why many of us are here today, so you don't have to do that. So you don't have to fear death. So you don't have to throw your body in front of something to get help. And so what I wanted to say here today is that if you live in a place where you are terrified right now, don't despair. Don't be afraid. Your life is worth it. It matters. And this is a demonstration of that. This is a demonstration of what it means to have learned to not put the weight of government behind your personhood. And so for those of you listening at home, if you are in a place where you are feeling despair, please see people in this room who will receive you. That is what this law is about. And so thank you, colleagues, for saving some lives today.